Somebody got a lot of background noise. I don't know who it is. A lot of background noise.
Sarah's from Florida.
I'm gonna have to go through it and mute everybody, I guess. Who else? Hey, okay, I see you there, brother. Come on, let's get this thing rolling, man. Hey, welcome to Dark Star Entertainment's Masonry, the Good, the Bad, the Ugly Wednesdays. Somebody got some crazy background.
If you're not speaking, please mute your phone.
Today's topic is Masonry. Is it a scam or something serious?
Wow.
And this topic came about because with my experience in Masonry, I know I've been scammed out of a lot of money. And I just want to know, is it worth it? Somebody's background is nuts. I just want to know if it's worth it. You pay these money for initiations. You pay these monies for degree work. You pay annual dues for every house that you're in, which can be up to six houses or more. You buy regalia for all these houses. You know, who are we bound to regalia from? Where does that money go? The money from the license plates. When you get that G on your that Mason on your license plate, what does that money from the profit of that license plate go? When you pay money to your Grand Congress, how is that money used? Where does that money go?
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm gonna ask you, brother, if it may be wise, since you have the controls, just mute everybody. Because
everybody is muted. I think it got to be Ray Edwards because he ain't muted. So it got to be Ray with all that damn noise.
I'm sitting in the room by myself.
Well, I didn't.
Whoever's outside, you said you may want to come inside in a silent area. If you're outside, we're probably getting that outside noise.
That might have been Brother Ikey because I just muted him and it stopped. I don't hear it now. So
I'm sorry to interrupt, brother.
Brother Ikey in Atlanta with that powerful AC on. That's what it is. But that's the topic for today. So the topic of today's discussion, if you feel you've been scammed by Masonry, if you feel that there's no accountability for the money that goes through hands. Because I know from firsthand experience, I was getting charged for degree work in Chicago by my Grand Master, and Chicago wasn't charging us for degree work. So that money, when he take 10 guys up there for $75 a pop, that's $600-700. I don't know where it went. You know, so that's the topic of the show today. So like I said, if you want to speak on it, throw up the peace sign, and I'll unmute your mic. Brother Edwards, if you want to go in on that topic right quick to get the brothers going, be welcome to do that. I'll unmute your mic and go ahead. So you, brother.
Good evening, brothers, far and near. Oh no, y'all can't say nothing because you're muted. It's cool. I can kind of understand and relate to what Brother Sunray L, aka Ray Davis, aka past Grandmaster, is stating, because I've seen some of those things. And you know, in Masonry there is a hierarchy of things, and sometimes guys are taught to just be obedient and do what they do. And I fell victim of it myself on many occasions. I'm sitting in the room right now, it's supposed to be my office, but I got so many different documents and aprons and collars from different situations where I just tried to do the right thing, and you know, it was just a overall bad experience. And like I could look at my guys and my Grand Lodge and say, bro, y'all ain't never paid for me to go nowhere. Never. And the bylaws say you're supposed to, but they've never paid for me to go nowhere. So now when you look at some of these guys that's running around here spending money, what are you spending money on? Like you really spend money on you going to Chicago, and I know that, but it's like the same dudes from Chicago was trying to flip the script. They knew what they was doing. I remember when we was in the same Congress together, Grandmaster Ray Sean, Joker said, well, y'all can take y'all initiations with us. I said, okay. But they wanted to charge my men $100. Like, charge you $100 for what? Well, if y'all gonna be a part of us, no. We our own situation. Also, we can't help you then. Then the hell with you. That's what I said. So I don't need anybody to instruct me on anything when it comes to something I already have. Anything I have, I know about it. But you're not gonna charge me and take advantage of people just to have it. Like that's what's going on with all these dudes that don't know about certain things. And if you were in my Ancient Free Moorish Right group, the brothers on this phone will verify that. All I keep saying is, hey, bro, study, read. Hey, bro, study, read. Hey, bro, study, read. Now, a few brothers are starting to pick up on it and catch up and see that it's what it's about. It's supposed to be. So now you paid $50, $75 for something. Okay, what is that? Well, you got guys that's charging people $1,500 for degrees and different stuff, bro. When did they get that? And where's that money going? I don't care what you say. That dude Jarvis been ripping people off for years. For years. He ripped us off. And nobody seems like it cares. There's no, like, I could have pressed charges on him for interstate wire fraud because that money was sent to him and it could be proven that he wasn't. But what would I gain from that? Like destroying that man's family, even though he's a piece of shit, I'm not going to destroy his family. His kids don't deserve that.
Yeah, but
so
hold up. But this the problem I got. That it's like the police when you hear people say there's no good police because if there was, then the good police would stop the bad police from doing what they're doing. And I feel like that's how it is in Masonry. Like it doesn't matter what the repercussions of that guy or whoever it is doing. If they're doing wrong, then they need to be pulled to the front street and they need to be dealt with, no matter who it hurts on his side. Because now you're hurting you. How many other brothers probably got took for their money since that time? You know what I'm saying? So I feel that we have an obligation not only to fellow Masons, but to fellow people, our brothers and sisters that's not Masons, but look just like us. And that's why I started this, because they need to know what they're getting themselves into. They can listen to the slick talk of some, Mason that they look up to because he got all these emblems on his car and woo, woo, woo. But they need to really be brought abreast of what really is going on with a lot of these lodges. They're what are you getting for your money? What intellectual property are you paying for?
It's your Masonic career, though.
Excuse me?
I think it's the members' Masonic career that's in jeopardy, and that's why those who can speak up won't. Most Masons
speaking?
think they're Mason. Wes Robinson.
Wes Robinson.
Okay, go ahead, Wes.
I think most Masons are more concerned with their Masonic career, and that's what hinders them from doing these just things when they see such activities happen, and that supersedes the doing of right. And that's a sad statement, but I see that to be true. I see more people that could stop a bad situation from happening, but they don't because of the future of their Masonic career. Because those who they have to stop will ultimately hinder their Masonic career. And no one likes to say it, but that's your Masonic career, I see, is held higher than doing the right thing. I'm gonna say it that way.
I get
That's a fair statement.
Point. I get your point. It's a good point. But I didn't know that Masonic Masonry should be your career. And
I know
think,
what you're saying,
and I think And I think that because there's a lot of people that have been surviving off of masonry for years. Been surviving off masonry for years, surviving on dues, initiation fees, all of that. That's been their income. So for most, it has been a career. Ishmael, go ahead, Ishmael.
I thought masonry was a livelihood. That's what you do. Like that's who you are. Because it's a path. Like it's a journey, and every degree is a checkpoint in your journey.
Agreed. 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 Any other brothers? Who is that? Who got their hand up? Oh, brother Bradley, go ahead.
In my opinion, I personally feel or believe that a big part of the problem is that brothers, they come in with good intentions, but then they're persuaded for whatever reason, or they see a way to get to a certain position, and then somehow, some kind of way, they figure out or they're told that they can get some money out of it on the side. Hey, this is how you can get some money up on the table, which was how I was approached one time. And I looked at them crazy, but like, no, man, I'm not gonna put that.
So what actually did they approach you with? To do what?
Well, what it was that in my situation, I had started a lodge and I had invested a lot of money out of my own pocket into the lodge, not asking the lodge members, the lodge, anybody back for any type of money at all. And I was approached by Grandmaster Turner from Mount Sinai Grand Lodge, Cleveland, Ohio. He said to me, I can show you how you can get your money back. And the way that he approached me and everything, I knew it had to be something to it. I left it alone from the beginning, like, no, that's not what I'm about. I've never been that way, nor will I ever be that way. That's not what I'm about. I came into this thing for the reason. I think a lot of brothers, they come into it with good intention, and somehow, some kind of way, through the smoke or whatever it may be, they get thrown off track, or they get sidetracked, or they see a easy way or a sly way to get some easy money. But that's not what masonry is about. And I feel that I think brother Isaiah, I think that's his name, that had the glasses on, that spoke before me. Ishmael, I'm sorry, brother Ishmael. Ishmael summed it up.
Wait, whoa. Do not give Ishmael no compliments, bro. Do not do that, okay?
Stop it right, Ishmael for Grandmaster. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Ishmael for Grandmaster.
We'll start the hashtag Ishmael for Grandmaster.
Start the hashtag.
Hey, Finn, we were just talking about the other night. Ish was cracking up, bro. I'm sorry, Aki. I'm sorry, brother.
Let me rephrase my statement. A brother from a previous show has stated that if a brother disobeys or go against his obligation, then they should be kicked out of the organization. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. You should be kicked out of the organization. Get a Masonic belt. Like Grandmaster Edwards said, no, I don't want to. It's not about hurting that brother's family or his household when he got to go to home. It's about punishing that brother. And I think the ultimate punishment, in my opinion, is you're no longer associated, have no ties, any affiliation with masonry at all ever again.
Okay.
Let me just elaborate on something. I want to say something to you. We all know what the penalty of our first degree obligation is, right?
Exactly.
That's what that means allegorically. To have that right taken away from you. It's not what it really physically says. It's so that you don't have that voice among the brothers anymore. But the problem is that a guy could leave my Grand Lodge on bad terms, and nobody's going to hold him accountable and make it so that he's on good terms. No, you can't come over here because you was with Ray. You can't come over here because you was Ray Sean. You can't come over here because you was at Sid. They don't do that to them. Right. So they just go from place to place, just like that dude Randy Gaines. That's why he's running around here charging these people all this money, because he was in Dre Grand Lodge and he was a piece of shit there. So now he moved to another Grand Lodge and made up his own shit. And now he's charging people like he's. Sorry, I went too far. I'm sorry.
But just to elaborate on what you're saying, that's in line where one of the problems is. They're not being held accountable, even when rules are in place. So if I'm in this jurisdiction or at this lodge, and a brother does something wrong and he get kicked out, and he decided to go to another lodge, that's where my lodge and that other lodges or other lodges should have a universal rule or agreement to where if something happened to where that brother get kicked out of his lodge and it's recorded on paper, and he goes to another lodge, no matter how he try to win his way into that lodge, okay, here go the receipts, here go the paperwork to prove that this is what happened took place in our lodge and why you should kick him out of your lodge.
But that's what the myths are for, right? But you have these Grand Lodges so thirsty for membership that they bypass all of that. They don't care about all of that. And that brings back to what I was saying last week. Who polices Masonry? Because everybody's sovereign in their own jurisdiction. So who polices Masonry? I mean, who do you get to come in and have your trial if it's all one? I'm about to unmute Sydney.
Greetings, brother. Sidney Godfrey, New Life Brother Grand Lodge, New Jersey, under the UMA. I agree with everything everyone said on this phone, except for a couple points here. A demit is only interjurisdictional. If you're leaving your jurisdiction, you don't need a demit. And that's one of the problems we have. And also one of the problems we have is that grandmasters don't know other grandmasters. I know for a fact, speaking to some of the grandmasters here that I know, if a brother is not financial in my grand lodge or in my blue houses, and he tries to go to Maryland with Grandmaster Penn is not having that. He's going to contact me. He said, why is this brother down here want to join my Grand Lodge? I'm going to say, Grandmaster, this is why. He's not coming in there. And I know Ray. If Ray say he said, why is this brother trying to join my Grand Lodge coming from you? I'm going to say, this is why he's trying to, not to badmouth that brother, not to badmouth him, but this is why. It's facts. This is what happened. He can't, Ray, you can take him if you want, Ray, but he leaving over here because he started problems or whatever it may be. But this is why he's leaving here. But if you want to accept him, then you accept him, Ray. And then if Ray accepts him, then that's on Ray. I'm gonna look bad. In my opinion, it's gonna look bad on Ray because Ray, you accepted his brother that I told you wasn't no good. So it looks bad on you and your jurisdiction, Ray. But also one of the things is that as a grandmaster, and I don't know how any other grandmasters do it. As a grandmaster in my Grand Lodge, I'm hands off, bro. I don't touch no money, right? We have if we had to pay money out. We have a Grand Lodge meeting opens up, right? We vote on that money to be paid out. Guess what? It's seconded. The money's paid out via the treasurer, via the secretary. I don't touch money. And also, this is my thing is, the brothers on here, and my Grand Lodge know this. If a brother comes to me at any point in time, Grandmaster, where's my money going? Hold on, brother. I'm going to get you a financial statement. I call the treasurer, I call the secretary, you get a financial statement. You listen, you're paying your dues, your hard-earned money. The least I can do is provide you with a financial statement. I don't care how mad other people get or how mad people are. That's what I'm owed as a master mason. You owe me that. And listen, as an inner apprentice paying my money, you owe me that. This is my money. I work hard for this money, not you. You want me to give my money? I need transparency around the board, right? And if you can't give me transparency, you know what you will get from CG? You ain't getting no damn money. Simple and plain. And that's how it should be, not just my jurisdiction, everybody's jurisdiction. I know Grandmaster Penn, and I know Brother Marcus down there, his secretary, right? You ask for a financial report, they're going to give you a financial report. You're going to get one. You're going to get one because you owe that financial report, and this is one of the things that in the Masonry and other grand bodies, they're doing is if you're charging a whole bunch of money for these dues and for these houses and all that stuff, right? Guess what? It's hard for you to show where that money's going. It's hard for you. For us, because our money is really minimal that you have to pay. We pay $50. We pay $50 dues for our blue house, for our higher houses. That's one-time fee all year for all the higher houses.
That's the lowest I ever heard, bro. That's good. I've never heard that.
Grandmaster Penn, how much we pay for our higher houses? How much we pay Scone a year?
First, greetings, brothers. Glad to be on the call with each and every one of you. Grandmaster Sidney already mentioned my name.
Who's that, Barry White?
Yeah, that guy. It's Grandmaster Penn, Grandmaster, the most worshipful regular Grand Lodge of Maryland. But two, Grandmaster Goffney's Point. Yeah, for the higher houses, it's $50 a year.
Wow.
And there's reasons to, if I may, to Grandmaster Goffney's Point. There's reasons. All of us have been burned in the past. You know, I don't know. You know, back in the day.
Who burned you? Who burned you? Who burned you?
Man, I done same person. One of the same people that burned many of you on the phone, but it goes even before that. It goes even before that. You know,
Okay.
Hey, everybody at some point had a teacher, but jumping around to that point, to the point that you're saying, when somebody leaves one jurisdiction to the next, you know, in my opinion, for it to get to the Grand Lodge level, it's a major problem because we don't know, it doesn't matter who that person is, they have to be accepted by a local lodge, a subordinate lodge. So we know the trials and we know all that. We know about the dues card, but if a person is leaving one state to another state, in my opinion, he needs to come with his certificates to show he's such. To show he's such. That goes to the secretary to go on the records. Where the secretary at that point, by order of the worshipful master, reach out to the previous jurisdiction to find out if there's any issues with this brother who's applying membership to this lodge. But we know a lot of people bypass that because, as was mentioned earlier, people trying to get their numbers up, trying to get their coffers fat.
Yeah.
You know, so we missed the mark. You know, I look at, you know, keep it simple, Square. You know, kiss it. Keep it simple, Square. Go back to basics. I think if we can go back to that, some of the current problems that we have, you know, can be eliminated. But again, what I like about this and this call and Grandmaster Edwards, you know, brother, the appreciation for you goes without question. It gives us as grandmasters and other brothers on the phone in various jurisdictions able to embark on dialogue and build a relationship.
I have a question.
Sir.
I can take this and put it on a bigger platform if you want me to.
Hey, brother Tony.
No, because you can't dance.
Hold up, let me.
Hold up. No. The Joker can't dance, bro. He cannot dance.
Edwards, we're not going to agree, past Grandmaster Tony Hawkins, with an insult. So I'd like to say, brother, thank you for coming to the platform.
That's not an insult. That's a fact.
Some facts are insults. And so, brother Tony Hawkins, I welcome you, bro. And whatever platform you want to take us to, hey man, hey, I lead and follow. You know, and that's what I'm about. So I ain't got no problems with, you know, taking your advice or follow you to a bigger platform. No problem with it, bro. Now go ahead with your insults, brother, Grandmaster Edwards.
No, you know what? You got to understand, and this is what brothers don't get. I can laugh and joke at Tony Hawkins because we're not only friends on Facebook, friends in Masonry, we're friends, we've met personally. And the same thing, somebody got to mute your phone because I don't want to hear me twice.
Yeah.
So, like, even the same thing with Marlon Penn, we've met on many occasions. Sidney Godfrey, we've met on many occasions. So we have personal relationships. What happens is, like, I had a guy that was in my lodge and went to join another lodge in New York. Me and that Grandmaster are cool, but he did not know the guy joined his Grand Lodge without being good in my lodge. And what did I do? I said, don't even worry about it, bro. I didn't even put it out there, but I could. You left under fictitious circumstances, and guess what? What am I gaining from that? Nothing. You wasn't that good of a brother anyway.
Now, in a situation like that,
So
and a lodge and a member of the lodge else or got kicked out of brings to the attention to the lodge that he went to his conduct, Masonic conduct. Should it be, is it their responsibility to hold that brother accountable and kick him because he came under false and he got out this lodge?
whose phone is that? That's got to be your phone, Aki.
Yeah, somebody.
They keep repeating it.
Somebody looking at the YouTube or something on something else and it's repeating it. You can hear the reverb.
Because I caught every other word from that last brother's comment.
Right.
Brother Davis, mute everybody's phones.
Everybody's phone is muted except you, me, Hawkins, and Aki. So if everybody
That's Aki. He got that little short people phone from Atlanta.
That what you get for cussing them people out there.
There you go.
And now,
but this is
but you know what?
My question again is, who polices Masonry? It's like everybody has their own jurisdiction. So who? Because I mean, in the jurisdiction I used to belong to, it was so much corruption and so much stealing of money. I'm talking about, it was pathetic. I'm talking about Grand Lodge bank account basically being empty. Like I said, when I first joined my Grand Lodge, the Grand Lodge didn't even have a bank account. The treasurer was taking the money home in an envelope. And I say, man, I'm not paying a due until we get it back. And then
was he going by the bar on the way home?
Yeah, the roll call. But look.
That leads me to
Hey, can I say something?
Hold up.
Let me say something, Rico.
After my stand, they made me grand secretary. And that's when I established.
Oh, why they do that?
They didn't even have a constitution and bylaw. I helped put together the constitution and bylaws for the Grand Lodge. None of this, they had no mode of voting. It was like people show up on voting election night and everybody raising their hand. And I'm sitting around like, I don't even know these dudes. Like, are they even financial in the Blue House? Like, what gives them the right to come in the Grand Lodge meeting and vote on the Grand Master? Like, who are they? You know what I mean? So it was nuts, man. So when you get on Most Crucial Gardner, I give him his props because he was one of the guys that I could lean on to kind of give me good, wholesome instruction during my journey at E.N.T Grand Lodge. So that's why I don't.
You finished?
I don't feel your. Yeah, I'm finished.
Good. Because now, for you and that damn crooked ass John Gardner, no. John Gardner is a crooked ass nigga, and he happened to be Ray Sean frat brother. So they good. He don't do him like that. I understand that. But what I'm trying to say is, just like when it comes to certain situations, hold up. Let me say something. Let's make something clear. I understand we on a conference call, but if you on there with a wife beater, put a goddamn shirt on, bro. I don't want to see no man nipples on the phone. Okay?
Hey, the mayor of New York got nipple rings. If you ain't said about the mayor of New York with them nipple rings, if you ain't said nothing about the mayor of New York with them nipple rings, bro, don't say nothing about my man D over here and his wife beater.
I ain't even say his name. See what you did?
That's a Corona beater. You don't even want to hear with the wife beater.
He said a Corona beater. But no, seriously, on a note that when it comes to certain things, like the only thing that can stop certain things, like me and Tony Hawkins have a rapport, me and Grandmaster Godfrey have a rapport, me and Grandmaster Debo L, Jamal Brown, we have a rapport, and that's what we're doing with the Alliance. We're creating a rapport for Grandmasters. We ain't charging nobody no money. So now, just like they said, it's only $50 for the whole thing. I'm getting ready to start implementing my Grand Lodge that if a guy want to be a Mason, he don't got to pay nothing for his first degree. We'll bring him in, obligate him, and he's gonna prove his worth. So we know what we got. So now, because that's what hinders the guy. When they come in, how much it costs? Oh, $100, $150. We gonna do that for free, King of Kings, and say, okay, this is how we gonna do it. Now, if you want to advance, you want to be a part of this more, guess what? You're gonna pay for your passing. Then you're gonna pay for your raising. You're not gonna get a certificate until we know you're worthy. I know that's right, Grandmaster Debo L.
Your first degree is a probationary period. Really, that's like your 90 days on the job. That's to see if you really want it. You know what I mean? That's why they don't really get too much in the first degree.
Go ahead, T.
Great way to put that. Great way to put that.
That's your listen to air and silent tongue.
Any other brothers want to speak? Throw the peace sign. I'll unmute you. Go ahead, brother Ishmael.
Except Ish. Except Ish. Except Ish.
Stop it, Ray. Stop it.
Silent tongue. Go ahead, Ish.
Brother West after brother Ish.
Yeah, I was saying that's your silent tongue and your listening ear. Something that I should be doing more often is listening more, observing and reporting.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Praise God.
It's because when you listen and you observe and you report, that's when you have a sponge brain and you're soaking everything. That's what you learn. You're supposed to learn 90% of everything, because everybody meet each other on that one level.
Yeah, that's the problem. Brother West?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So according to the topic on the robbery and masonry, I just want to speak on this. And I always felt this. I think a few problems lie in why that happens. I can't speak on them all, but two that always bother me. First one being is there's no consequence in masonry.
Right.
There's no consequence, and it's a beautiful situation for robbery to exist because there's men at the top of the lifestyle, because we don't accept bombs. So you obviously have some sort of money, and you're entering a world of other men with money with no consequence.
Yep.
With no consequence. So the same thing that we hang our hats on being peaceful and the illusion to consequence is the same thing that's killing it. There's no consequence. So you open up the door for the crook or the criminal to lay low, to enter the realm, and then do the crime, and then say, all right, well, we just don't deal with him again. Well, I'll rob you too. That's just smart. I would rob you too. And you understand when I say, oh, excuse me, you get what I mean when I say that, because we don't do that with our bank accounts. So why do it with your masonry money? And even if it's a $50 degree or a $20 degree, times that by 100 members, you got some money. You got a reason to be robbed. Somebody robbed you in Atlanta, he comes up to New Jersey because another problem.
You, Debo. You next, Debo. Go ahead. Finish,
but I'm gonna cut that short because it's a lot of brothers that want to speak. But I just wanted to get that out. There's no conflict in masonry, and that causes, or that opens up the door for a lot of things to happen. And I'll let somebody else speak.
Bro, you made a beautiful point. That's why I kept saying, who polices masonry when every jurisdiction is sovereign? Go ahead, brother Debo.
I tell you who polices masonry. The Constitution and bylaws of that jurisdiction. That's what gives you your sovereignty. The Constitution and every jurisdiction have their own Constitution and bylaws. The Constitution and bylaws is the law of that's the government of that jurisdiction. Now, just like South Carolina has their thing, North Carolina has their thing, Delaware has their thing. Each one of those counties or each one of those states has different laws. Some of them are coincide, and some of them don't. Now, for example, me being just saying, I'm a Delaware state trooper. If I go to New Jersey and I was to stop Grandmaster Edwards and try to give him a ticket,
you're gonna get fucked up. You're gonna get fucked up.
What would happen?
You out of your jurisdiction.
Wouldn't anything And exactly my point. You're out your jurisdiction, so it holds no weight. Now, what we need to do is get back to the old standards of things. Take it back to when your grandfather and my grandfather were Masons. What did they do? You know, the investigation committee. They need to do their damn jobs. You know, so when you do proper investigation, which you should do 3 times, you know what I mean? Proper investigations. In the first degree, in the brothers that's coming in as EAs, what we need to do for them, what I do in what I did do in my Grand Lodge when I was the Grand Master, I had a program implemented that every Master Mason, adopt the EA. You adopt that EA, and that's who he works with. See, they can't ask to be to advance to their next degree. They can't ask to do that. What happened in your first degree? Then you get your tongue ripped out. You can't talk. So they can't ask for that. That's up to the instructor or his sponsor. If his sponsor feels that he's ready, that he's done put in enough time to work with him, and if he's done it properly, then it'll be easy for him to advance to the next degree. And what we need to get back to, another thing that I was doing when I was a Grandmaster, and my current Grandmaster still does it. We had an individual that vouched for a brother, or vouched for an individual, said he knew him. It turns out it was his girlfriend's nephew. He vouched for him when we did the investigation. It comes back, we found out that the young man was a register. He had to register, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean, he had to register every year. So
I'm a social worker, so I know exactly what you mean.
So what we did was when we bought him back, we told him we declined his petition. Didn't even really get into why. You know, it's just that we just declined it. And the brother that vouched for him, I suspended him for 6 months. You said you knew him. You vouched for him. So what did you say in when you took your obligation? You said that you would never bring harm to your brothers. You just put us in harm's way. So now you got to pay for what you've done. Suspended for 6 months. I wanted to do it for a year, but it was, you know, everybody else was like, just give him 6 months. So that's what it was. 6 months. You can't come around, no functions, no nothing, no conference calls, no nothing. You just on the outside looking in. Now, when you come back off of your suspension, we can start a fresh and new. But that's what we have to do. There is, like the brother said, no accountability. And when brothers do hold brothers accountable, you know, they take it in a negative way. But I remember a thing said, foot to foot, knee to knee, chest to chest, hand to back, and mouth to ear. And on mouth to ear, I'm supposed to whisper wise words of counsel in my brother's ear to keep him on his square. If I see him erring, I'm supposed to give him that good counsel. Now, how he take it, that's something totally different. I just did my duty. If he takes it in a negative way, he take it in a negative way. But we got to get back to basics. Damn the cliques, damn the homeboys, the friendship. You know what I mean? The first thing that we were taught was, what is Masonry? A very beautiful system of morality. We're dealing with morals. We're dealing with principles. What was the first place you was prepared to be made a Mason? In your heart, right? So if you was prepared to be a Mason in your heart, whatever is in your heart, Masonry just amplifies it. If you're not a good man, Masonry is not going to make you a good man. We take good men and make them better, but we also take a bad man and make him worse.
But I think to sum up a lot of what you're saying, especially with the last part of what you're saying, you know, it, in one word, it's agape. That's how I just put it, agape. Every Mason don't know the definition or the meaning of that word agape. And if a brother, in my opinion, if a brother don't have that agape love,
unconditional,
then is he really doing what he's supposed to be doing? It's not about how good your
hey, bro, I disagree. I disagree with you on that agape love.
why.
Because I've researched Greek history, and agape love is that. I don't have agape love for no man.
Okay, well, let me put it like this.
I don't have agape. If you look up the etymology of the word and what that really means, I do not have agape love for any man. Sorry, bro. I love you to death, man. I've been knowing you since you was in the 7th grade, bro. I love you to death. But we ain't got agape love.
That's based upon the definition that I know of agape love. Now, if the actual definition of what you're going by or referring to is something in a bad or negative way, then okay, enlighten me. But based upon the definition I know of should be applied, so forth and so on, and that's what I was going off of. But to get back to the
hey, you get a lot of feedback, Aki. You might want to switch your mic to the computer audio or your phone audio and see how it sounds. I'm getting a lot of feedback. We only can hear like every other word you say.
To get back to the subject at hand, is Masonry serious or is it a scam? In my opinion, Masonry is serious. It's always been serious. It's just that we, generally speaking, we have allowed brothers to come in and join the organization, and they have turned it into a scam.
Okay, hold on, bro. Let me ask you this though. Okay, we saying Masonry, and I guess we're speaking of Masonry in general. Masonry in general is serious, but more speaking, somebody's background is nuts. But I'm sort of more speaking on what I refer to as melanated masonry. You know, is melanated masonry serious or is it just a scam? I mean, we hear about white Masons, they all in the media. You hear about Illuminati, you hear about how Masons is doing this, Masons is moving this, Masons is doing that. They're not talking about us. They're not talking about the melanated Masons. I'm talking about melanated masonry. What is its purpose? What is its end game? Like the way I feel, if you got a lodge in the community, then that councilman or that council member should be coming out that lodge. Or you should be fostering the next council member to come out that lodge. The mayor of your city should be some way affiliated with your lodge, or you got behind him doing his campaign where he feels he owes you something. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's why they say no felonies in masonry. No fellas. It ain't really because you're a bad person because you got a felony, because everybody slip up. Any situation can get to a felony, especially if you look like us. But the thing is that if you had a felony, then you can't really help us because you can't get in those positions. That felony is going to stop you from being a mover and shaker in the community. And that's what I'm saying. As far as melanated masonry in these lodges, what are we doing in our communities? People don't even know who you are. I mean, you come out with your regalia on, and you try to act like you're better than everybody else because you got this sonic swag going on, but you ain't really communicating with the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you are an asset to the people. Like, what makes the people say, no, I want to fight for that lodge to stay here? You know what I'm saying? When that building go into foreclosure, or, can you go to that community and raise money to stop that building from going into foreclosure? Like, what's the end game? Like, what's the purpose of melanated masonry? Like, what are we really doing? We just getting together, with some feel like religion. It's like church. You go get your feel good, and then what? Brother Hawkins, go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to answer a question real quick that was posted earlier. Who polices masonry? Everyone up in here who has a title as far as Grand Master or Wishful Master, whatever your title may be within your lodge or your jurisdiction, you help police Freemasonry by forging relationships with other Grand Masters of other jurisdictions, not just through your own General Grand Master of Congress, but outside those boundaries. Because we know that people slip through the hoop. So if I can't be a part of this General Grand Masonic Congress, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go join another one that nobody really knows about. This is why it's important, as Brother Ray Everett was saying earlier, about forging those relationships. So we police Freemasonry. So if I get a call from any of you about a brother who's in California, who's looking to join a lodge in California, you know I'm here. You should be able to give me a call and say, Brother Hawkins, I got this brother in California. You need to be aware of him. He ain't right. And here's the reason he's not right. Now, it's left up to me as a body to say, well, okay, now, if he petitions me, I want to hear what he has to say. But I'm trusting that you are giving me the correct information to say that he's not worthy enough. He must get his demit from you, else we have that relationship. If we don't have the relationship, it doesn't happen. It doesn't get policed. So we police Freemasonry by developing those relationships. The next thing is that once that's done, there will be no hopping and skipping. Like Brother Raymond Everett mentioned just a little while ago about the brother who left HB Turner and did his own thing. I spoke to Randolph Gaines, and I told him, I said, I wouldn't do what you're doing. I will go join another jurisdiction if you like that. But he went off and did his own thing anyway. I left that alone. I didn't add to it. I just removed myself away from that situation. And this is where the policing of Freemasonry amongst us come in at, because we have developed that relationship. That's the answer. If you really want to know. The next thing is once that is developed, as Ray was trying to say earlier in regards to this Masonic alliance, this is where you'll be able to say, I know this person, I know that person. I have contact beyond my General Grand Masonic Congress, which a lot of Grand Lodges don't have that connection. They don't. They just think that they're just in the end game, like you said earlier. This is it. This is all I got. But Masonry is bigger than where you're at. And when you believe that, and when you know that for a fact, man, we police it. We have it. We have the authority to do it. Once those relationships are developed, I'm good.
Right, all right. Hold on. Who brother Ish in the building. Go ahead, brother Ish.
You asked the question earlier, what is the end game? I believe there's no end game. I think it's a cycle. Everything is just goes in cycle. And you said that Masonry does not or should not accept felons because what can they do? They more liability than asset.
Whoa. I didn't say Masonry should not accept felons. I didn't say that.
You said
I said that's one of the rules they go by. I never said I agree with that. I accepted felons in my Grand Lodge, depending on the. If you got a felony for a crack charge in 92, I understand that. You know, if you was 15, 16, 18, 19 years old in 91, 88, 89, you might have a goddamn drug. You might have a drug charge. So I don't, I let felons, I did leave some felons into my Grand Lodge. So I just wanted to make that point that I never said that. I believe that.
Okay. You never said that, but in general, I feel like they could be assets because some people they go out and they find their way faster than people who have diplomas.
What's that noise?
Yeah, we're getting feedback.
That's Bear driving. I think that's Bear. One of them's probably cracked or something.
Where is it? Well, he muted.
Oh. What about Raymond Edwards?
He muted too.
He muted too.
It sounds like somebody moving something around.
All right, that's better.
Yeah, that's better.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh yeah, I feel like they can be assets because they can get diplomas fast. I mean, they can get money or they find their way faster than people with diplomas because now that they had a setback, and that minor setback goes for a stronger comeback. And most people who went to prison or jail don't want to go back. So they make sure that they don't go back, that they don't backtrack that cycle. But everything I feel like is a cycle.
You know, I'm with you on that. That's why I say, I mean, because I know how melanated people, we can get felonies for walking out the house, going down the street to the store. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you got a felony when you talking about rape and robbery and those type of things, murder, attempted murder, nah, those things I'm not dealing with. I don't even want to go into the story of it. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel that I can have 7 brothers in my lodge, and we can just be as strong as mighty as somebody with 70 brothers in their lodge. You know what I'm saying? Because if
Like
you got 70
300.
brothers, you only got 7 brothers doing the work anyway. So numbers never impress me. You know, it ain't the quantity, it's the
That is
quality.
so true.
You know, let me just say something to you. I've had guys, whether they were gang members, criminals, thugs, whatever, there's good in everybody. Some people have just been forced to do certain things. And if you're supposed to take a good man and make him better, how do you take a guy that's almost a bad man and make him good enough to become one? Like when you like Grandmaster Ray Sean was stating, we all have a little in us. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter how the person approaches the situation. So I had a guy, he's still technically one of our members. He said, bro, I could stay up in Newark and be a corner boss all day. But how am I going to take care of my sons and teach them not to do what I did if I'm around here? So now whether he's affiliated and he's heavily affiliated, but that doesn't mean that he's a bad guy. So sometimes when we look at certain things, I mean, certain crimes, like dude in Virginia, no, not in Virginia, in North Carolina, name is Otis Salisbury. He's the president of Slogia. He's a general grand secretary of that same Congress, but you was having sex with a teenage girl and you were her teacher.
Yeah, I think brother Ish provided receipts on that on the last episode.
Mm-hmm. So now you turn around and say it's okay. So now you got dudes that are headed big jurisdictions and other things, right? That are, wait a minute, you got 5 kids by 3 different Eastern stars. So where's your uprightness? But now you got guys that are all over, you know, the Facebook and that and the other, because you say you're such and such and this. That's more of a scam than anything else. Why isn't that a scam? That's a scam.
No,
that's a scam in a whole.
You misrepresenting yourself. It's something that you're not. But again and again, who's to tell that man he's not whatever he says he is? Because there's no universal, there's no regulation. Who's to tell that man he's not who he says he is? If I wanted to name myself the Grand Imperial, if I wanted to name myself the Grand Imperial Wizard of Masonry in the United States, who gonna tell me I'm not that?
Right.
And I can get people to follow me. And pay to follow me. Brother Kip, you've been unmuted. Unmute yourself, Brother Kip.
I guess, first of all, this is a really good conversation to have, and I really do appreciate the fact that I'm invited to this forum. The question I have to ask is, where are the leaders at? And for instance, my worship master is an amazing guy. He's a role model. He coaches. He's leader in his community. He does what he's supposed to do. And someone like me, who's a little bit younger, looks up to that. Secondly, you should be policed in your blue lodge. Your blue lodge should be catching all these things and all these issues, especially when you're out and about somewhere, or when you're going somewhere and you're representing the standard of what we hold. If something's out of whack, somebody should be telling you about it. That's where the leadership is. And if you're told something, and if you really truly care about what you want to be or you want to become better, you'll heed the advice. If you don't heed the advice, that falls on you, which is something that we're not really talking about. And that's the personal accountability of what we have taken an oath to, or what we try to uphold, or the betterment of ourselves through standards. If we're not standing on the square and we're not doing what we're supposed to do, that kind of falls on the person. There are some good, there are some bad. As a person, your job is to find the people that better you and be around those people, and those that cannot help you get somewhere where you're trying to go, those people that you need to leave alone.
Okay, so what happens? Hold up. So what happens when you come into a Grand Lodge and you have interviews for prospective candidates, and your Grand Master sits there and tells them, "I have 2 families. I have a woman here and a woman there, and a family here and a family there," and representing that is like that's what Masons do, you know.
And but then again, that goes back to your standards. What are you trying to get out of this? What are you trying to find? If you're trying to become better, then you move away from that. You
okay, right. I mean, that's easy. That's easy to say. But when you got somebody coming in and don't know nothing about masonry, they're novice, they're just interested, and they come to an interview. That interview might be the closest they even actually sat to a mason that they knew. You know, sitting at that interview, and this is the approach that's given. I mean, I went to my first potentate ball with my wife, because I thought it was a family affair. And at that potentate ball, my Grand Master was there with a woman that wasn't his wife. And my wife had met his wife before. So her whole question was, who is that? I didn't know who she was. I'm like, I have no idea. Oh, that's his girlfriend, because I heard him talking to the brothers at the other table about how his wife was in California with her sister, and he got his side piece here, and woo, woo, woo. And then I had to deal with 10 prostitutes coming down to the potentate ball and having a table when brothers and sisters didn't have a table. So I'm just trying to tell you that there's some Grand Lodge experiences where what you're saying, bro, is in the reality, in a perfect world, you're right. But a lot of these people are coming in and they're being encouraged, trained to cheat on their wives. I witnessed all of this, and I was the outcast because I wasn't with it. And when I come to Grand Master, they just knew they would set me up with women in Chicago, Indiana. Ray, they asking about you. Ray, they want you to come. Ray. No. And I got voted out because I was not with the bullshit. Somebody had their peace signs up. Who was that? Wes? Well, if you want to speak, I'm mute your mic.
I kind of lost what I wanted to say because you guys went in so many different cases.
There's inconsistency on the control.
Let me try and grab it. Well, according to what you lastly said, I kind of disagree, but that's not really what I wanted to really talk about, because I kind of wanted to stay on topic with the masonry and robbery portion. But I'm gonna say this: to every problem that I heard in the past couple of minutes from the different brothers speaking, it all resulted in the end game of this: hold the person who did wrong accountable by the other members, or hold the person who did wrong accountable in a sense of, well, then he has to deal with that within himself, the right and the wrong. Listen, I don't know who you guys are talking to. We're talking about men that walk earth. You think they care about that? Dealing with it within them? They already thought about that before they did the wrong, and they were okay with it. Masonry has no consequences, and therefore Masons are victims, and nobody wants to say it. You're victims.
Nobody wants to go.
But that's the thing. Masonry does have consequences. It does have consequences.
No, it doesn't.
The consequences are on you, the individual.
It has become a pyramid scheme. It has become a pyramid scheme. The guy at the bottom pays all the money, and the people at the top get the money, but you never know what the people at the top doing, and not helping the people at the bottom to hold the base. Your blue lodge holds every grand lodge. No blue lodge, no grand lodge. Period. Period. No blue lodge, no grand lodge. There's only really 2 degrees of masonry. For real,
Can I
for
ask a
real.
question?
Well, we can go to 3, but it's only really 2. But we can go to 3. All that royal art, nice Templar, that these grand lodges holding these warrants to, and they can't afford to pay for them. They don't have the members for them. They're recruiting people out the blue lodges, first and second degree Masons, and putting them on a roster for Royal Ark and Knights Templar, and then ask them to go back and do initiation later on, just so they can keep the members up. That's all a scam. Let the
Can I ask a
warrants.
question?
What are you holding the warrant for? Go ahead.
Am I heard?
Yes, you heard, brother.
All right. So what I'm hearing, what I've been hearing for a lot of years, I guess we all are victims of a whole lot of different things in the craft. Call it what you may. So the way I see this thing here is, I'm gonna choose my words, but I'm asking folks, you know, if I say something incorrect, it is not directed at anyone in particular, but just understand my words. I only speak a little bit of English. But what I'm hearing is complaints. Again, I'm choosing my words carefully. So, because that's what we're doing. We're talking about what was done, and I'm going to talk about what's not being done. Because we can talk all day about this one got disgruntled, and this one stuck that brother's wife, and the wife stuck that brother's, that sister's husband, and all that stuff. You know, the money, the this, the that. You're saying, I mean, I recall over the years an entire lodge of pimps, literally pimps, literally. An entire lodge, everyone in the lodge was a pimp. How I know that? Because my uncle was a pimp. See what I'm saying? So I knew that by that. These brothers, and their whole design was to scoop up, you understand, them stars and do what they do. You see, so now we know all of the frailties, all of the disasters in the craft. So my question is, what must we do now? What will we do now? And that's the question.
And that's a good point. That's my whole point about who polices masonry. And what brother pointed that out when he was like, Brother Tony Hawkins, just having that rapport with other grand masters in your Congress, other grand masters in neighboring cities and in states where you can communicate. But far as that, like I say, if you're solving your own jurisdiction, if you say your lodge dues for your master mason is $500 there, who's to say that you can't say that?
But see that's the whole point, though. You see, whether you go by the landmarks, but see okay. In opening up a lodge, we clearly know that there is an altar, and we summon a supreme deity. So what that tells me is no matter what discipline that brother has, he has a faith base. So now let's leave the morals aside for this. He's supposed to have a faith base. He's supposed to believe in a deity, right? So now we're talking about what is his relationship with his devotion? Since that's the first criteria of becoming a Mason. So we're talking about moving to the joint and this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth. But what is his, we know about his secular, what is his spiritual relationship? If he ain't got no spiritual vibe on any level, then is he a good candidate? No. So it's like we're checking for the wrong thing. Oh, the brother did 25 down. Okay. A lot of brothers did 25 down, but you never know it. You would never know it because their character is completely different than before they went in and when they came out. Have a different character.
Exactly.
You would never know that. These brothers did a bid. Never. So now I'm saying is that we're checking for the wrong criteria for Masons. If his spiritual vibe ain't there, you're saying then as esoteric brothers, we're supposed to be able to identify that. out the gate. So soon as he knocked on the door, when the master says, wait, but the master should be zooming in on who's outside that door without even going to see that brother. That's esoteric craft. And Grandmaster Edwards know, getting those primitive right degrees, that's what we're talking about. See, that's what you're supposed to be zooming in on. How do you decipher a brother's aura? His solar system. How do you do that? You got to go with him before you go without. It's like we're talking about things of there's a book I have. It's upstairs. There's a book I have where it's written by some white dudes, right? An old book. You know what I'm saying? And they're talking about, us. We can't be Masons because we were slaves. We can't be Masons because we were slaves. Well, guess what? We know good and well that Masonry came long before them clowns. Them clowns is walking around with hair over their faces, on all fours, et cetera, et cetera. We're looking at the wrong introduction. And that's why stuff keeps happening over and over again, because we're allowing the same people to come in, which Grandmaster Edwards talked about on the call last night, about not being able to accept certain people in a certain right. Masonry is pure, brothers. Masonry is pure. It's the practitioner. It's the members. It ain't just the grandmaster or the worship master or the most shit. It's the membership. It's the membership. We can't blame it on this or that. Search your own hearts. And then because like what the Messiah says. Can you cast the first stone? And first of all, why throw a stone? First of all, I'm gonna throw some bricks.
I agree with everything you just said, but that's only if the leadership even know what an aura is. If the leadership even knows what the word esoteric means. That's the problem. You got these people like man, Ray Edwards, it's about popularity. It's not about what you know or how you can better the lie to the grand lodge. It's about popularity. Whoever can convince the most members, who is that? Who the hell is that? Of their side, that's who wins the election. It's not always the person who's best for that grand lodge. Usually the best person for that grand lodge is ostracized because he's going against the majority of the foolery. And I'm only saying that because I was in that. I was in that firsthand. Man, these brothers were trying to get me kicked out this grand lodge when I first got in because they seen it. And I know they seen it. The ones that wanted to be in charge, that was on the bullshit, they seen it. One of them even came to me, a worship from Masonry Lodge came and told me, he tapped me on my head like this. He said, you know what? I got my eye on you. I got my eye on you. And that guy tried to get me, told the people I was selling weed at a Grand Lodge function and all kind of, dude, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous because it was just a fight for power. I told you, when I came to my Grand Lodge, it was the Crips and the Bloods. It was one lodge against another lodge, and I walked into a Masonic war. I had no idea about it. I've been in fist fights. I ain't been in a fist fight in my Grand Lodge. I've had brothers run up on me as a lodge trying to actually jump me inside of a lodge, dude. This is what I've been through. Just trying to hold up the tenets of Masonry against foolery. And when you got more fools and you got righteous brothers, what are you to do?
Well, it's like Grandmaster E said, it's about bringing this thing back to priest and pure. I know one Masonic body where all that's going to cease. And so perhaps that Masonic body would be the vanguard of this craft. Because we're talking about a craft
who got them bad kids in the background, man? Mute your mic. Who got them bad kids in the background?
Yeah, we're talking about, you understand, as us being the vanguard. There's brothers on this phone right now who take this craft to be very serious. They don't joke, they don't play. They may smile a few times, but they're serious about this piece. And even they are misinterpreted, you understand, as being, you understand, whatever. You know, it's like some brothers may have just gone through that, or we've gone through that joke, clown, whatever, get high. We did that already. You know, we behind enemy lines. Masonry, from where I stand, Masonry is the answer to our problem. I'm talking about our people's problem. We got the keys to solve all this bullshit. Real talk. We got the keys for this. So those who understand this, eventually and soon come, they'll link up either telepathically, physically, but certainly spiritually and morally. They will link up. So all these war stories we're talking about, it's like, yo, like we say, well, in Brooklyn, we say, don't talk about it, be about it. Be about it. You know, that's sap rap. You understand? I mean, let's go ahead and do this, what we got to do. If brothers don't like a particular brother because he may call a brother out, that's his style. But the question is, if he calls a brother out and he's actually telling the truth, don't shoot the messenger.
Answer the call. Answer the call.
That's it.
Answer the call. You know, if you call to the carpet, you can answer the call. I mean, that's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? But just even getting back on the topic, I mean, the collars that we buy, the aprons that we buy, we're not buying them from each other. It's like, I mean, there's a whole economic stream that we're missing as melanated Masons. I mean, there's so much money that we're not touching, and we're steadily giving to somebody who don't even acknowledge you as a Mason. A white boy will tell you you're not a Mason, but he'll sell you an apron. He'll get that $150 for that apron.
Yeah,
and them
that makes
cufflinks and that collar, but he'll tell you we can't have a Masonic conversation. But yeah, I'm gonna sell you this. I'll sell you the books. I'll sell you all of it. So we understand, like, you know, as Masons, melanated Masons, how do we get our own economic stream? See, when money is not the problem, a lot of problems is eradicated. You know, if there's a way that we can profit share and a lot of the regalia that's being sold and bought, it would kind of cure a lot of the financial ills of lodges. It wouldn't put lodges in such a desperate situation. Like I said, when you buy that Masonic license plate for your estate, the lodge don't get somebody's getting a kickback for that, for having the word Mason in that common square on that license plate, and it ain't us. So if you're a master Mason, if you're a royal art, if you're a nice Templar, if you're a 32nd degree, and if you're going up the other ladder and you're a Roy Croy and nice and Kadash, those are all jewels, emblems, collars, aprons that you have to purchase. So when you total up, like I would love to hear Brother Tony Hawkins and Brother Grandmaster Edwards give me a total. Give me a total of what you done spent towards Masonry since you joined the organization. I'll wait.
I can give you a total.
I only been in Masonry for about 12, 13 years. Well, I can't even say I'm even in Masonry right now. Because right now I'm just so disgusted with what's going on. I'm just abstaining until I find the right situation. And so I mean, I have a family, I have a job. I can't spend all my time, you know what I'm saying, dealing with the issues of a lodge and building a lodge and correcting a lodge. That was 10 years ago. I don't have that now. I don't have it. I don't have the expense of letting you use me for my time, my intellectual property, and my money, and I get nothing in the back of it but some knives. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't have it in me. They took it out of me. All I can do is sit on Facebook and talk about. All I can do is sit on YouTube and talk about.
I can going to answering that question as far as the money I invested into the craft. Me personally, no exaggeration, I do have some receipts to vouch for what I'm about to say. And the total I'm going to give, very little of it had to do with regalia. But I personally probably invested out of my own pocket anywhere between $6,000 and $9,000.
Mm-hmm.
$6,000 to $9,000. And I am so upset about that, so pissed off about it, to the point to where the next, and I've said it before, the next person, if I vouch for anyone, will probably be my son. And he's only 12 years old. It's hard for me to join a lodge and come off of money because, like you said, what's the end game? What I'm going to get for my money? I made a promise to myself to never put that type of time and money into the craft and not get anything back in return. Because I've been stabbed in my back. We all got our war stories. I've been stabbed in my back, shanked, the whole shebang, so many times, time and time again. So how many times or how often I'm going to continue to do that? And I have some pretty regalia. I love looking good. I think I'm 50 with my suit on and my tuxedo on. I have 3 tuxedos in the closet right now. But that's nothing compared to what I invested into the lodge itself or the craft itself. But I know brothers who have spent a quarter of that, but they got more degrees than I had. They had all this so-called power and prerogatives, so forth and so on, and they on top of the world. But I never got into the craft for that reason. I got into it for a whole nother ball game.
Hey man, a set of collars cost you $300. Hey, brother Hawkins, go ahead.
I'm going to say this. My situation we all got our war games, as someone said earlier, but my situation is a little bit different. I was blessed to get into a good lodge off the jump. Just the brothers in there alone was already mature. They already was their own person. They was well off. So I jumped into I was fortunate to be in a good lodge. And I've been in the same lodge for the past 33 years now. So I'm fortunate, and I've been fortunate to serve as the Grand Master. Now, here's the kickback. I was in a jurisdiction that did not, where the Grand Master was doing certain things, as we all know, money, name on a checkbook, I was in that situation. He didn't want to step down, but the past Grand Master put him in such a predicament till he moved on and he was left by himself. So we have to, once again, police Masonry. Your jurisdiction has to have the bones enough to, when the Grand Master gets out of line, they check him. And if you don't have a strong jurisdiction to do that, he's going to run amok, period. Now, the next thing is that in the process of this money thing, I know I've spent, God knows, I spent about maybe $8,000 a year. That's just in a year, because I like to travel, okay? But even with that being said, you always want to get into a jurisdiction or a lodge to where you're going to see the benefits of being in it. And you'll know right off top when you see the benefits, period. And this is where the Grand Masters come into play. It want everybody to have a buy-in. If everybody don't have a buy-in in your jurisdiction, you're not going to grow. People are not going to be held accountable because you're too scared and you're too afraid. The craft can't be afraid of holding the Grand Master or anybody else accountable. And this is where we're at. And I like the topic discussion, but we who are in the Blue Lodge must hold the Grand Lodge accountable to its own constitution and bylaws. You must do that, period. There's no way around it unless you just leave altogether. Old men start wars, young men fight them. In any place, any jurisdiction, that's what happens. A man once told me, and I'm going to be quiet after this one and come back on the next one. When you got two dinosaurs fighting, and they're at each other. They don't care who's at the bottom of the pit. They don't care who's below them. But when it's all said and done and they walk away, they may each be injured. The total destruction is what was below them. I'll let you think on that for a minute. I'm muted.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Good point.
I got you. Collateral damage.
Good point, if I may, brothers. This is Grandmaster Penn again. And I'm quite sure all you brothers know, but to go off of what past Grandmaster Hawkins said, and I mentioned it to my Grand Lodge, that again, I'm quite sure you all know, as a paying member, you know at any time you can audit those Grand Lodge books. You know, and that's something I've learned years ago, because my first jurisdiction in Grand Lodge we was under, a lot of those questions came about. You know, and in the long run, we left. But again, they say money is the root of all evil, but we know the lust of money is the root of all evil, and we know that it causes so many problems. And we got to get back again to the basics and to the purity of what this is. But I will also say, as I've said to members, that to thyself be true first. To thyself be true first, Brother Davis. You know, you should never have to go into a meeting or any location with brothers and have to fight. That's come on now. I mean, that's malice. You know what I mean? We shouldn't have malice in our hearts when we're among the brothers. Now, again, let's be real. We all men. All of us on this call, former son. But if we were good men coming to this order in order to be made better men, we have to first be good men, you know, and have to always be willing to subdue our passion. See, a lot of brothers in the Masonic order now bypass that right there that you learned in the first degree, to learn to subdue your passion. I'm going to subdue it as long as I get my way. That's not what it says. That's not what it says. So,
So true.
we just gotta we gotta get back and be there for each other. Just plain and simple. And props again to you brothers for bringing this together.
Bro, I done seen brothers get first and second degree in the same night. I seen brothers get second and third degrees in the same night.
Yeah.
You know, so hey.
I'm with you.
What you mean? What you mean? 4 to 32 in one night.
Hey, I done seen
4 to 32 in one night.
Okay, you can't hold that brother responsible for that, because he's coming to a situation where he's oblivious. He's hoodwinked. He don't know nothing. So if a brother say this is what we doing tonight, then that's what we doing tonight. You know what I'm saying? You can't hold that. So when he don't know, when he walking around now, he had a 32nd degree regalia on, and then when you brothers slip up behind him and holler at him, and he don't know what you talking about. He has no clue what you talking about. You know? And then you the bad guy because you say something about it.
Yeah.
Like I tell you,
hey, Grandmaster Ray Sean, let me, can I say something? And I'm going to say this, and this is why, like I keep saying, there's certain situations that we got going on right now. Okay, the Memphis Missouri, right? Why I happen to be the National Grandmaster. Why am I the National Grandmaster? Not because I'm the most knowledgeable guy, because I'm trying to facilitate things under somebody that I know is crooked. No matter what happens, Tony Hawkins is on this phone. He know Burris was crooked. He know Jarvis is crooked. But people try to maintain relationships
You introduced me to him
for the sake of hope.
You introduced me to both of them. You introduced me to both of them. So don't tell me that I know they're crooked when you introduced me to both of them.
Throw that cable
I may
back
not be able to dance, but your ass introduced me to both of them.
Hey, he was holding that dance piece. Good comeback.
But
It sound like a
but
Rico,
see,
sound
and
like a
then
Rico,
like
sound
when
like
you
a
said,
Rico charge to me.
Yeah.
so
Sound
now
like a
so
Rico
now what
charge
happens?
to me.
Check this out. So now all of these guys around the world are claiming that they have the rights to this Memphis Mystery Am. Got it. But there's certain individuals that we all know don't. I respect Ali Spencer because Ali Spencer, we were with the same situation with Burris, and Ali said, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to do something different. And that's what Ali did. He went around and he said, okay, he contacted people. He did his thing. Got you. So now, okay, moving forward. So all these guys got this claim to this Memphis Mystery Am thing. So now we got the ancient free Moorish right. None of them have say-so over that. That's the only right in this country right now that nobody has the rights to, and we can all be a part of it collectively. So how do we stop the bullshit? By coming together collectively. The Grandmasters Alliance. How does that work? Okay, any Grandmaster of any Grand Lodge can be a part of that. And guess what? There's no fee. So you take the money out of Masonry, now you got the right shit. So now, Tony Hawkins, your Grandmaster, want to be a part? Hey, man, we're going to be a part. You know what we do? We sit down and have a conversation. Well, listen, we was on the East Coast. We're going to go to the West Coast. We're going to go to the Southwest. We're going to go to the Northeast. Or we're going to go to the Midwest. And we figure out somewhere to go and meet and only talk about Masonry. There's no money involved. I'm going to tell y'all a good story. When I was an international 20 years ago, I became Grand High Priest. The first time I had an event, we made $30,000 at one event. So now they seen what happened. The old dude, his name is Cleveland Rice. He dead now. I would say God bless him, but I don't like him that much, so he's dead. He said, baby boy, you know you got to feed the baby. I said, what are you talking about? You got to feed the baby. I get 5% of all affairs in New Jersey. You didn't help put this event on. So if you didn't help put this event on, you ain't getting no money. Next thing you know, 4 months later, he tried to suspend me as the high priest, the grand high priest of that state. So I said, this is some bullshit. So we left. So now what have we done since then? Nothing. They haven't done nothing good for nobody in no community. They haven't helped no one. They haven't done anyone. So guess what? Now we done moved on. We're not a part of international no more. We join all these other different groups. Everybody is trying to fleece people for money. So if we take money out of the equation, Tony Hawkins, you work at a hospital. Cecil Booker, you drive trucks. Marlon Penn, you work at the McDonald's eating the fucking hamburgers.
They pay me well for it.
But I know that's right. So now, if we take the money out of Masonry, we're going to have real Masons. So we can't keep doing it. This cycle is just falling dead on us. Like I heard Ray Sean. I know Ray Sean because I was there. All that stuff he talking about, I was there. I seen it. I wasn't from the Grand Lodge, but I seen it. I've heard other dudes try to dog him, and me and him always had a good rapport. Always. Because you know why? Anybody that somebody don't like, that's to the person you need to find out who it is so you can find out why they don't like them. And you'll understand you really probably like them.
Yeah.
And I look at guys on this phone right now, and I see who's who and what's what. There's a lot of good brothers on this phone. Oh, Dre Jones has snuck his punk ass in the building and don't want to say nothing.
Damn, bro, it's like that.
How you ain't gonna say nothing, Dre Jones?
I was always told never interrupt a man while he's talking. Why would I interrupt you while you're talking?
Welcome, Grandmaster.
Hey, man.
What's up, Dre Day?
See, that's why.
Excuse Grandmaster Edwards. Excuse him. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Yeah, I know what's wrong with him.
He know what's wrong with me. He know what's wrong. You ain't got to explain to him. He know what's wrong with me and him. Friends. Outside of Masonry, we'll always be friends.
I'm gonna give you a proper introduction. I'm not gonna let Ray do that till you coming into the chat, man. So, welcome, brother. Glad to have you. Hope y'all doing good in the great state of Texas. Go ahead, brother Edwards, with your insults.
No. The little state of Texas. The little state of Texas.
The great state of Texas.
Don't be saying that great state stuff. Stop
the
that.
great state of Texas. He said the greatest. The greatest. Yes. Bro, I just come in peace, bro. You ain't got to have no attitude with me, bro. You ain't do nothing wrong to me. Just let me just come in a conversation and fellowship.
Hold up. Let me call your wife. Tell her to take you to take the garbage out.
I'm just
Don't
saying.
talk to the police like that, no way. You gonna make it bad for all of us talking to the police like that.
Yeah, we out here taking care of y'all. Nah, man, I just had to chime in, man. Whatever y'all doing, you know, I definitely support. I had another thing, but man, you know, I'm ready for the movement. I agree with Ray a little bit. I don't know what he said, so I'm not agree. That's why I said a little bit, because he probably said something that before I got on the phone.
Before you came in, Ray Edwards was saying how you charge your members $500 to get their master mason degree and some other shit.
God damn.
That's too low.
No.
That's too low.
No.
Oh, you went up? You went up?
Oh yeah, man. You at least got to charge $3,200, man.
Hey, it's tax time. Tax season.
$3,200. I don't know what they.
That's what. Hey, Dre.
Don't do
that's
it.
That's what Randy charged him. That's what Randy charged him.
I should have stayed on my other call, man. See what I'm saying? Nah, man. Nah, I don't charge no $3,200. Hey, man, $500. What? Next week I'm probably gonna charge $750. They're gonna say, man, I don't know. They make us something every day.
Hey,
but
so
I agree.
let me ask. No, on the serious note, especially for all you active grandmasters, during this coronavirus pandemic, I call it a host, but whatever. Are y'all giving some kind of leeway on your lives, dues, or things like that? That you know, are you giving, you know, waivers or what?
Bro, ain't nobody paid nothing in King of Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering, you know what I'm saying? And are your lodges open for like?
No, but you know what? You got to understand something. No matter what happens, and this is being real. Whether if a guy belongs to a lodge, who got all that shit in the background on their phone? Somebody got a lot of background. You have to understand. No matter what happens, because of this pandemic, if you live in your house, you got to pay rent. If you have a building, you got to pay rent. Your car insurance, you still got to pay rent. It's unfortunate that all this is happening, but guess what? The people gonna want their money. It's like all these guys jumping up and down talk about this money they gonna give out. You ain't gonna get that money for no reason. So stop acting like it doesn't make any sense. Like if the large building is there, even though we can't mint it, as a body, you still got to pay for it. So, you're going to tell the mortgage people you ain't got the money? They don't care. They might give you some type of concession later on down the line, but right now they don't care.
So, in my jurisdiction, some people ask to meet. Some people ask, you know, about dues. What I did was, as a leader, I left it up to other leaders to make that decision. So when it first happened, people like, oh, we can't meet. Can we meet? I said to myself that, you know, my lodge, we still met, but we didn't meet yesterday. But in March, we met both twice. I left it up to them to say, hey, you know, if your members don't feel safe meeting, the grand body is not telling you you got to still meet. The grand body is not telling you you can't meet. The grand body is not telling you, you know, you can't have a conference call, a Zoom call, that y'all can't fellowship. Because one thing they're gonna say, oh, now you're starting to be a dictator. Now you're starting to be a dictator. That's your choice. I let them know if they still wanted to meet, the building would be open. I let them know if they didn't, it wasn't an issue. You know what I mean? I kind of left that to the worship masters and worthy matron. And the one worship master did reach out to me about, you know, partial dues, anything like that. I just tell him that's up to his lodge and his decision on what they do for their lodge.
Yeah, same. Good point, Grandmaster Jones. I know for me, for the state of Maryland, I did suspend all face-to-face meetings. That's not saying you can't meet, but I did suspend all face-to-face meetings. You meet by conference call. As far as lodges charging their dues, that's on the worshipful master. I leave that to their capable hands. But I explained to them that as the grandmaster, I'm obligated to follow the law of the land as it pertains to this. But again, they're still able to meet. They just have to do it virtually or by conference call.
Hey, this is Jamal Brown. Before I get off, it was a lot of great dialogue. Here in Virginia, we don't meet face to face until this thing is over. You can do conference calls and Zooms. But I want to introduce a brand new grandmaster that's on here. His name is Rob Stone. I have another call in about another 60 seconds. So Brother Stone is actually on here. He can talk for himself. And y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all on the next call.
Be blessed, brother.
Peace.
Travel life.
Peace and wellness. Is the grandmaster on the call?
For me?
The grandmaster the grandmaster that he just
Yeah, Rob Stone is on the call.
So, somebody
There
asked
you
me
go right
something?
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rob Stone. He the newest grandmaster on here.
Okay, what happened? I'm sorry, my mom was speaking to me at the time. I was taking her stuff out.
Nah, I just introduced you, brother.
I'm sorry, I walked away and I heard my name.
Nah, I just introduced you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yep, I got another call, so I'll catch y'all later.
Hey, welcome,
Okay, brother,
Grandmaster
peace.
Robert Stahl. Congratulations for your newly elected position. Welcome to have you. Come back anytime. If you got anything to say, introduce yourself. Whatever you want to say, man, go ahead.
All right, well, I really don't have much to say right now. Sitting back, listening and learning. But the one thing y'all talked about, like I had a conversation with my worship masters and told them that I don't plan on going. I don't like going to funerals, especially Masonic funerals. So I highly recommend that we don't meet face to face for at least 30 days, then come back after that and see if we want to do it another 30 days. They definitely agreed because we just had 3 in the last year, so we ain't trying to lose nobody. And as far as the dues go, we told them you didn't have to worry about it. Grand Lodge have enough money in the treasury anyway, so we're good down here. Am I not talking no more?
Brother IT, what's going on? Yeah, go ahead. Brother IT, what's going on?
Had to mute myself. I'm just sitting back and I'm just listening and learning, just taking it all in. I'm not a grand master. I haven't reached that status as of yet. But I'm just taking it all in and just listening. I got my own little personal 2 cents, but I'll yield the floor to to another brother to have.
All right, but me, I'm gonna get back on my soapbox there. I think that we should be producing something where there's an economic stream for Masons. I mean, we talk about taking care of widows and orphans, but with what? If a brother died right now, can the lodge help bury that brother? Can you really help support the funeral for that brother financially? I don't know. This is questions I have.
Well, I think I'm gonna go ahead. I think it's just gonna boil down to. I mean, and it's always great to get together. Good brothers get together on a level and fellowship and share war stories, share good stories, good times, bad times, the whole 9. But no point intended to anyone on this call. But how much or how long are we just going to continue to sit back and talk and share war stories? when we gonna put up or shut up? And we've been quiet for quite some time, just like Grandmaster David Great somewhere else just mentioned. We don't have anything. You know, the white Shriners, they got a hospital. Why we don't even have clinics spread throughout the country? We don't have nothing. I ain't gonna say we don't have anything. We ain't got nothing. Like he just said, we probably can't, not one lodge probably, I ain't gonna say every lodge, but I don't know every lodge business. Generally speaking, we can't bury a brother if he was to drop dead right now from the coronavirus. And quite frankly, that's a damn shame. All this money we spend after a lodge, going to whatever bar, buying all the liquor, buying rounds, this, that, and third, but we just got about paying lodge fees, but we go to the bar right after the lodge fee and spend $40, $60 to $100. But we just got to complain about $25, $30. So where's our priority? We ain't taking, no, we're not taking this, no, we ain't taking this serious.
Bruh, I said in Chicago,
it's a scam right now. And the game's got to stop.
I said in Chicago, you know how they had that meeting every weekend in February. I sat in that meeting in Chicago, and I watched how Chicago had over 800 people in that meeting, right? And the tickets was shit. I think you were spending almost $150 for 2 tickets if you had a significant other with you.
Yeah, it was. They functioned with $75 a ticket. Yeah, it was.
Right. So I sat there and watched like 22 members, brothers and sisters from my Grand Lodge, sit in that function. So you done pay $75 for the tickets. You done pay for the hotel room for the weekend. You done pay for the outfit and the jackets y'all bought to wear down there, and the shirts y'all done bought to wear down there, and the food spend, the travel to get down there, and we don't have a place to meet.
That's $1,000 weekend.
We don't have a place to meet. Dude, that's $10,000 right there on a building, on a house.
Yep.
Like, I just couldn't. To me, I just couldn't understand it. I just couldn't understand it. Like, dude, y'all. And then with the place we were meeting at, they were charging us $35 a meeting. And I wind up footing the bill for most of that from lodges meetings that I wasn't even at. I was the Grand Master. They called me, well, you got a bill for this lodge and this lodge, like $35. I don't know what this is.
They got money for that hen though.
But you can go feed another lodge. Yeah. You can go feed another lodge before you feed your own. And I told him, I said, you know what, we need to be on this is what I suggested. And this might be one of the things that got me kicked out. Or not kicked out, well, co-called voted out. I said, you know what, this is my suggestion. We put a matter, what do you call them? That shit just slipped my mind. A memorandum, not a member, anyway, we not gonna pay no dues to no houses, but to the Grand Masonic Congress. The Blue House is the only thing we're taking care of. We're not going to pay no Royal Ark dues. If they want to take the warrant, they can have it. Nice Temple, if they want the warrant, they can have it. If they want the Scottish Rite, if they want the consistory, they can have it. For 3 years, we're not doing nothing but keeping the Blue House alive. And we're not traveling. We're not doing anything for 3 years.
We're messing with the
and
church.
And at that time, we would have money to go buy a building, cash money. We have enough money to go buy a building, cash money, and then that building can be also a revenue source for the lodge to fuel the lodge. No one was with that because their biggest thing in Masonry was going to Chicago to see this chick, going to Detroit to see this dude. I mean, that's it wasn't about really sacrificing and saying, you know what, everybody stand down. For 3 years, we're not doing none of that. What we need a Royal Ark warrant for? You don't even open up the Royal Ark house.
Don't know how.
You don't know how to open it up. You don't know how to open it up. The Knights Templar, you don't have enough people to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, what do you? It was crazy, and I don't know. That's just me. And maybe, like I said, maybe that's why I got I got ousted up out of there because I was thinking too much on the Masonic level, I guess.
So would it be fair to say that maybe the biggest issue in the craft now is that it has a lot of members that are boys with the facade of a man? Because when you are a man, you're going to take.
Philosophy.
When you are,
you know my philosophy. I said I never seen so many grown men come into masonry looking for a daddy.
Yeah. Because when you're a grown man, I had a conversation with someone else earlier they wasn't a Mason, but we had a conversation earlier. When you are a man, you're gonna do what you need to do to take care of your house. My father always told me, take care of home before you go out and roam. Me putting it in the Masonic perspective in my lodge, and Grandmaster Davis can vouch for this, and correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. In Cleveland, Ohio, at least, as far as the melanated lodges, I think my lodge location, the building itself, was the only lodge that had an actual quote unquote Masonic lodge building, in which, like Grandmaster Ray, he wanted to purchase the building, and I was putting myself in position to purchase that lodge building too. And we were paying only $35 per meeting, but we had an entire lodge, commercial kitchen, security parking lot, lit parking lot that we hardly ever use, but we have full access. And then talked about purchasing the row of houses that were directly across the street from the lodge, so that each house can serve as a lodge for each upper house, whether it's the red house, black house, purple, whatever it may be. And then having one house to serve as a place for a brother or a sister that will be traveling through town. No, don't go get a lot. Don't go get a hotel. Come right here. We got you. Matter of fact, it ain't gonna even cost you no money. We got you, because that's what we supposed to do. But when you, like Grandmaster said, when you start talking like that, messing with the church's money, then you ruffling feathers. Nah, who he think he is? He think he this? He think he that? No, no. What I'm trying to do, the seed I'm trying to plant, is bigger than me, and I already know I'm not going to see the glory of it, because I'm gonna be dead and gone 3 or 4 times before it hit the way I wanted to hit. So it's not about me. It's not even about you. It's about what we're supposed to do. Like Grandmaster Ray and myself, we talked about trying to get a daycare center in East Cleveland. We actually get on the internet, look for buildings. Drove around the city looking for buildings. But a lot of the members in the lodge, they didn't want to do it. We was trying to run.
There's no reason why if you're a Mason, you got children, they should be with some strangers. You know what I'm saying? Put them in a place where you got a piece of the pie, where you got an investment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, that's what Masonic's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to control the economics of your neighborhood. You're supposed to be able to, when them kids get to acting crazy, you supposed to be the one to walk down there like, man, Lil Joe and Ray, what are y'all doing, dude? You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Exactly.
Let's talk about that, dude. This ain't how we do this. If your lodge is in that neighborhood, then you're supposed to police that neighborhood just as much as the police that neighborhood.
Right.
You know, I even came over my Grand Lodge. I say, man, I know a street in East Cleveland where all the houses are abandoned. Let's go buy them houses up one by one.
And you can get those houses.
And create a Masonic street. Like, we own every house on this street. We have brothers in this house. We put old people in these houses. And my community service I didn't do community service a lot. We didn't put on shirts and go serve turkey on Thanksgiving. That ain't what we did. My thing was, you show me what you're doing with your neighbors. You show me what you're doing in your street. That's your community service. And we can cover a lot more ground. If I got 30 brothers doing community service in their neighborhood, then we all getting together twice a year doing some shit and taking pictures. That ain't community service to me. Show me pictures of you throwing the ball around with the kids on your street. Show me picking up trash and cutting your neighbor's grass, your elderly neighbor's grass, and shoveling her snow. And that's community service. Don't talk about you going to feed the homeless. You ain't get out of here with that. You ain't bought none of the food that you even distributing, man. Stop it.
But that goes to show the mentality of some of our Mason brothers, when you can go in a neighborhood and purchase a home for anywhere from $500 to $3,000, and it's not going to be in the best.
Here.
But you have brothers in the lives that have skills.
But you can in the Midwest though, right? You can in the Midwest though. You can come out here and buy a nice house for $10,000 off the foreclosure list, easy. Put $5,000.
I get it, but how do you equate that to somebody that can nowhere? You can't buy a car for $10,000 out here. So it's a whole different dynamic. Like when people look at, you say New York and all that, if you try to buy a building in New York with less than $500,000, you ain't getting nothing. $500,000, you only getting 500 square feet.
Okay, but
it's different. That's one of the challenges. You're right.
That's a challenge.
I'm just saying that's just the dynamics of what we have to do.
Oh, let me tell you this. It's a challenge, but it's not a challenge. I'm always on the problem solving, finding a problem to the solution. Even if it's like that out there, you still can invest in property in Ohio. Your lives can still invest in property in Ohio. Most of the property being bought up by the people out of California in Ohio.
Yeah.
They buy houses 20 at a time in Ohio. Never come to Ohio, never see them.
Yep, sight unseen.
Well, listen, I'm gonna come to Ohio and buy a goddamn. I'm gonna buy a club because y'all got the strippers that come to y'all convention, so I know I can open a club and have me some strippers.
Hey, we can call it Ray Boom Boom Room. We both can be co-owners.
Ray Boom.
But again, like
you know
what I said, it's a lot of Masons are walking around with the facade of being a man, but they're actually boy-like in their mind and in their actions. So I think that's the biggest problem that we have. And we just
grown men looking for daddies.
Yeah, and it's
a lot of grown men, a lot of fathers looking for daddies.
Yeah, it's great to have this forum.
That's a hard reality to accept.
Let's go ahead and just bite the bullet. And we all know it's not going to be easy. Like I said before, we all said it. We all got our war story. So we know it's going to be rough. Let's go ahead and do what we got to do to plant that seed and just come together and everybody just have everybody back and move forward. That's what it's going to take.
Right.
That sounds like a good plan, bro.
We're going to have to police ourselves. No, you did wrong. You ain't did right. Okay, I'm checking you. We're going to be on your ass like right on right, no matter where you go. You just be a bulldog and just put the Kung Fu grip on it. I don't care what jurisdiction you go in. No disrespect to anybody's jurisdiction, so forth and so on. But bro, you did wrong over here. I'm going to make you pay for it Masonically. I ain't going to touch your family. I ain't going to mess with your household. But Masonically, your Masonic career is over with. Flat out. Just be dog gangster with it. Forget trying to be nice. Forget trying to be passive because a lot of stuff,
I can show you.
A lot of stuff we're going through is our fault. It's our fault because we seen it. We saw it before it even happened. And we didn't say nothing. Or we didn't do it. I ain't gonna say y'all. I'm gonna say I didn't say nothing. Or I didn't do enough about it. Or I didn't know enough. But now that I know, now I got a mother sucking attitude about it. I'm gonna speak on it every single time. And if I hurt your feelings, then so be it. Take it on the chin and keep it moving. Charge to the game and keep it moving. But if you go against your obligation, I don't care which one. And I'm only gonna say the first one. If you go against that first obligation, bro, you broke the rules. You out. You out. And everywhere you move, I know you there. I'm gonna be on you like right on right. When you see me walk up, first thing you're gonna say to yourself, "Oh shit, here we go." Because you did.
I'm gonna get you a whistle on the striped shirt.
Facing in the crap. That's how that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but hey, I'll mute myself.
Wow. Hey, bro, it's been a good call. I gotta go. My lady waiting on me. I got shit to do.
All right, man.
And
Great call,
hopefully we
brother.
just keep coming up.
Peace, Grand.
Yeah, for
Everybody
it's a
take
good
care.
call,
I'm
man.
getting ready to go live in just a minute. The miseducation of a black Mason.
Oh, watch out
Oh
now.
man.
I'm at
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna jump
Who
out
wrote that
here.
book? Weston Jarvis?
No,
Huh?
brother.
I'm a
Right.
when I
You need to
jump
go
out of
catch
here.
that damn ride.
Hey, watch this. I'm gonna show y'all some. Check this out. They always say I'm the worst dude, right? Now let me look on here and see who on here before I say what I'm gonna say. Ray Sean, I'm gonna show you how I'm a beast. Right? Who on here? Oh, hold on 1 second. All right, let's see. Where my damn thing gonna move? Okay.
We got Tony Hawk in the building. We still got Willie Kelly, Abu Muhammad, Aki, Ish, Grandmaster Marlon P, and we got Jason Crockett in the building.
Okay, watch this. All y'all know William T. Hill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He one of the nicest Masons you ever met, right?
Okay.
Yeah, he's nice.
Have you ever seen any member of his Grand Lodge or his Grand Body in a picture with him?
I think I only met him from his jurisdiction. Thinking about it.
You'll never see a picture. I'm a Grand Master, I'm this, that, and the other, and the third. But you've never ever seen a picture with him and more than 4 members from his jurisdiction. And they always say, Ray, because Hill been a snake for so long, but because he's nice and Ray talks shit, people think Ray's a liar and Hill's the truth. But Tony Hawkins, you know you ain't never seen that nigga with nobody. You seen him in the back of that truck with me and you. Right or wrong, Tony Hawkins?
That is true. He was hanging
You
out.
never seen him have a state session. You never seen him do anything other than be at somebody else's stuff and receive honors. And that's the problem I have, because I had a brother from my Grand Lodge just listening to this joke. I'm like, bro, how do you know him? Because you talked to him on Facebook? You ever seen him in person, or I went to his house? Did you ever see him open a lodge? And that's where our problem is. We don't hold people accountable for what you see. Like my man Dre Jones, watch, you go see Dre open a lodge and you'll be like, wow, that kid's sharp. Some of y'all ain't gonna say kid because he's older than y'all. But you're gonna say that brother sharp. I'm gonna say that kid sharp because he know his shit. You tell me to show some of these cats that's around here influencing people how they do it. They can't because they don't do it properly. But because people like them, they're sitting back saying, oh wow, this brother is such and such, this brother is such and such. No, he ain't. He a piece of shit. Show me where he do what he do. And see, when it get quiet like this, ain't nobody saying, Ray, you wrong. Because you know I ain't wrong. Yeah, because that's the problem. We're incorporating BS into the situation. Huh? I'm not lying. Steve Hawkins know I ain't lying. He's saying stop because he know I ain't lying.
I was talking to Ray Davis.
Okay.
No.
Ishmael, you on the phone, right?
Oh, yes, Grand.
All of these dudes on the phone will tell you they don't like what Ray say, but he don't make up no shit. Because there's a way to do it this way. I'm just not going to be that Mason that's going to kiss your behind to be your friend. Me and Tony Hawkins is friends because we have a right to have each other.
I've never known you to be like Mason. Never.
Yeah.
But when you show somebody something, like you could say, like Ray Sean, all that stuff he said is true. I'm not debating him. And guess what? Some of them guys that did it, I'm cool with them. But guess what? That wasn't my fight. But if he asked me to tell the truth in front of him, I'm going to tell the truth in front of him. That's the difference. Like, yo, if he say, wait, back me up on this, and I know it's true, wait, you right. I'm not going to say, no, he lying and nothing like that. No, bro, he right. They did that. They did that, had the strippers. They did have a little midget in there, all of that stuff. He ain't lying.
Wow. Midget. Oh boy.
Stripper dad.
Wow.
That's true.
Man, it was, man, I swear for God, man, that was I can write a book on my Masonic journey. I swear for God, but people be looking at me like, man, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you the guys honest truth. When they came to me, they said, "Yo, this dude Ray Sean is gonna be the Grand Master." So okay, what's happened? He ain't been around that long. Well, what do the bylaws say? The bylaws say all you gotta do is be a Master Mason. Then y'all got a problem.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
So there's nothing you can do. The bylaws rule the
Yeah, the
situation.
bylaws said ain't nothing you can do.
They tell you I wrote the bylaws.
Damn, John Gardner, you wrote your own bylaws?
You gonna give me the pen and tell me to write the bylaws, then you gonna argue me about what's in the bylaws? Stop it. Stop it.
You wrote the bylaws, they gonna argue with you.
You can't.
Oh man.
You can't.
Yo, bro, I love y'all, man. I'll talk to you later. I gotta make it.
They still call me to this day.
I love you too, Grant.
Hey, brother. Peace. Love you.
I should have charged them money to do
that. Oh God. I'll holler at y'all later, man. Peace and love.
Good, man. Peace and love, man. I'm about to jump out of here and go over Brother Tony Hawkins' page and
what time is it?
Listen to his podcast.
Teach him how to dance.
Yeah, this been beautiful. Peace, brothers.
I can't teach you.
Brother Hawkins, what time are you going to kick your show off?
Yeah, he left already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he probably about to go do it now.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace, brothers.
Peace.
All right, travel light.
Likewise.
Likewise.